Yo, what's up, PlayStation Nation? And welcome to episode 25 of the Greatness Podcast with your host, Supersonic Wolf, the guy who's ahead of his time, always bringing that fire, bringing that greatness. I'm also about to bring you that Vita greatness.
Mm.
And tonight is debate night. And there's been debates out there, and I don't want people thinking that we're biting off other podcasts because we're having a debate. We had a debate previously, right, on Forza Motorsport versus Gran Turismo.
Definitely.
So we had this debate in the past. The debate what we're having right now, we've had this debate, even on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? So it was building up to that point where we're gonna, air it out live on the Greatness Podcast, right?
Definitely.
So we thought now is the perfect time to do it, and we're gonna be debating on what is the better handheld at this moment in time. Is it the PlayStation Vita, the greatness known as the PlayStation Vita, or is it the Nintendo Switch?
Mm, mm.
So, without any further ado, I do want to introduce, my main man right here, the god of PlayStation. Give it up for my man Kratos, J Dub City.
Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy J Dub, aka Kratos, the god of PlayStation. Back here again with my man Wolf. And we finna do what we do. Tonight is debate time. Like Wolf said, he's going to bring his points. I'm going to bring my points. And you people, yes, you people in the comment section and all you guys listening in, it's up to you to decide which one is the best at whatever points that we bring. At the end of the day, both of us, the general and the god of PlayStation and everything gaming, have both anyway.
Oh yeah. That is this. I just dropped out quickly. I'm back. I'm back here again. That was the disclaimer that Kratos just mentioned. I believe we both own both handhelds, right? If you want to call it a hybrid on the Switch, you can call it that. But we own both, and anything we say is basically opinionated. It's going to be based on our opinions, but we're also going to bring the facts to the table, and it'll be up to everybody on the chat and whoever watches the podcast later on, on who won, who had the valid points, and it'll be down to that. So, do you want to get started?
Let's get it started.
Okay, so uh, what's the first thing you want to compare between both systems? I would say, the first thing I'm going to compare would be obviously the screen. Now, that's the first thing you see when you play on a handheld, right? It's the main focus is the screen because that determines a lot of things within the handheld itself.
True.
It is touch screen. You could touch it with your fingers. I know, the Switch is also a touch screen, but this is OLED. People want OLED, especially on TVs, because the blacks are on point. It just makes the picture so, beautiful and crisp. The colors are just popping. Everything is just popping, yo. It's like close to HDR, if you want to say that, for handhelds, I'd say.
Yeah.
But it's definitely great to have OLED. Now the Switch, knowing the fact that it's a 2017 console, I don't know. I feel kind of underwhelmed with the fact that they're having LCD. I believe it's not even LEDs, LCDs. They're using LCD panels on the Switch, and I'm kind of disappointed with that.
Okay.
So, are you willing to concede on that?
No, of course. Of course not. I'm the god of PlayStation. I don't concede on anything. Nah, I'm just joking. Yes, of course, OLED is better. But that Vita, man, it was like the Dreamcast. It was ahead of its time. Had all the right moves. The screen obviously was using OLED technology, which at the time was unheard of. They didn't even have OLED TVs at that time. The only one that they even had in the in production was the Sony. I think it was AL something. It was some weird model, and it was only for smaller markets, and it was only actually 11 inches, guys. Size matters. 11 inches. But but yeah, you're right, man. That OLED screen, the colors popped. The blacks are blacks, the blues are blues, the reds are reds, and the greens are greens. It by far made up for the lower resolution of the screen compared to these days. But because of the size of the screen was so small, the pixels compressed and it made it look actually higher resolution than the screen was actually capable of showing. So I will give the notch up for the Vita on its first iteration. Now, if you want to fast forward a couple of years, they turn around and did the same thing that the Switch did. Came out with the LCD version. Why did they choose LCD? Well, guess what? Because of power. Okay,
Because of
OLED,
battery life. Battery
OLED,
life.
yes, OLED is much heavier power wise. It runs through the battery, so that's why your second generation of the Vita battery was able to last an hour, hour and a half longer than the original ones.
Okay.
So, it's just, and then you got your timing, refresh rates, and things like that play a big part too. But looking with your eyes, you can't deny that OLED display on the Vita it looks even to this day superior because it's OLED.
Night and day, yo. It really is. And
Mhm.
yeah, right now, if you do go to certain the majority of the PlayStation Vitas that you will see will be LCDs. You won't really find the OLEDs. They're pretty hard to find. You'll find them online,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean that they're not available and they're impossible to find. You can still find them out there. You just gotta be a little lucky, and this is what I'm saying. They are out there.
Yeah.
They may be a little more expensive, but that's the price you pay. If you want a better screen, it is what it is, man.
Okay. Yeah, you get it. Okay. Now here's another thing too. Obviously, it's two different systems, different time, different year, but the screen size of the Switch is a lot more preferable to me than the Vita. The Vita, the screen is just a little bit too small by today's standards. Most of us are used to the iPads and the iPhone 7 Plus and Android, big Android phones like the S8 Plus Galaxies and stuff like that. So bigger is better. And the Vita is a little man in a big boy's world.
You know what? I don't know. I kind of beg to differ on that because the Vita isn't really the smallest of the smallest screen. You know what I'm saying? I believe it's still big in its own right. It's bigger than
Mm-hmm.
cell phone screens. I could tell you that for a fact. It's definitely bigger
Mm-hmm.
than cell phone screens. But I think it's the right size. It's a decent size. You can still see what's going on in the screen. Because if you want your screen to be that big, at that point you might as well just play on the TV. You know,
Yeah,
at that point,
but
or you
Wolf.
might as well play on a tablet or some shit. Like, to me, like, bigger screen doesn't necessarily mean it's better, but I get it. It's all subjective at the end of the day. It depends on the individual. Let's just say somebody is a big dude, right? Kratos, you're a big guy, right? So
Yeah,
I'm sure you got big hands, and obviously you want to have a bigger handheld device, right? So you can hold and you'll have a better grip on it.
definitely. Bigger is
So
always better.
that all depends. What if a small guy? Now I ain't saying I'm small. I'm the in between guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm the in between guy.
He's the
But
guy that get in between. He's Mr. In between guy.
yeah, I get in between here and there. I'm between. I've been in between a lot of things all my life, but you know that's a different topic altogether, right?
Right.
But what I'm trying to say, man, like I like them both. I think they're both good in its own right. I think both of them are good. I think the Vita has a good size screen for what it is, for the size of that handheld, and I think the Switch, it's 2017, obviously, so they had time to actually, patent the whole thing and design the whole thing. So, but then again, big screen, but then again, it's LCD yet again, so it's still an L right there.
Yeah, some concessions had to be made. Some overcompensation had to be made for that, and it's all good. But you know what? I'm going to go ahead for the first time ever. Kratos, he's going to concede to the general in which one has the better screen.
Okay. All right, another thing. Can I bring out another thing?
Go ahead.
I really do believe that the UI on the PlayStation Vita is better than the Switch. I think everything is just so easy to find. If you want to go to messages, you go to message. If you want to go look at your friends list, it's all there. Your web browser, the store, like everything is just so easy to find. Everything is just, it's so simple. Like an iPhone. And plus, you could customize. You have custom themes. I believe the Switch don't have custom themes.
Well, I'll tell you what. All right, I'm going to stop you there. This particular topic, I've won already. You're talking about the user interface. You're talking about the user interface. The Switch is already the top. It doesn't have messaging online or any of that stuff. You just see the game on the front of the screen and you just hit the button and you're already there. So you have no chance of, if you own a Switch, you have no chance to get lost in menus and stuff like that. It's just what you see is what you get. So it's simple. It's to the point. That's it. End of discussion.
Yeah, but I like there to be more stuff. Like if there's certain things I want to look for, it's easy for me to find, and it's customize the thing. I believe the Switch you can't even customize it.
You can change the color. You can change. Well, you're right. Yeah, you know what? I'll give you that. You can't customize it the way you'd like to, but at this point in time, you have no reason to customize it.
But I want to though.
But why?
I like customizing my shit. That's just.
Why would you customize something? It's a game to play games. What you see once you pop the game in, bam, play the game.
Yeah, but sometimes I like customizing my shit. That's just me. I've always been that way.
If you want to customize the Switch, you go buy you some different colored Joy-Cons. Slap you some stickers on the back of that bag.
Yeah, but I like customizing my user interface as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's something I prefer to do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I can't argue with that.
Yeah, like I said, some people don't care for it, but people like me, I care for shit like that.
Yeah.
But another thing, another reason I believe the Vita is also better than the Switch.
Wait. Before you say that, okay. Let me tell you one of the reasons.
You want the last word? Okay, yeah. Cool.
No. Let me start. Okay. So we talked about the screen.
Okay.
We talked about the user interface. Let's get to the price. All right. When the Vita first came out, what was the cost of the Vita?
It was $250 for the Wi-Fi model and $299 for the 3G model.
Basically $300.
And
it was $249, and this was back in 2011, correct? 2012.
Yeah, correct.
All right. Well,
but how much is it worth now?
How much is the Vita now? I mean, isn't the price still like $200 some?
No, you could pick up a Vita for like in a lot of places. Like here in the UK, you could pick some up for like £120 or 130.
Okay. Well, and if you convert that over to the US, that you're still looking at $180, $190.
No.
Still looking at, yes.
$150, man. $150.
No. You think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
like 100.
You know, I'm just thinking because when I was last in GameStop after you and I talked, I was in GameStop and I asked, and the price was still like $180. I don't know if that's because that's the OG model or what, but that's what that came up to.
Yeah, but that was then. This
Yeah,
is
you're
now.
right. Not
Okay,
3D.
if
Yeah.
you want to compare the pricing with both launch editions, when back in 2012 versus when the Switch launched, they were pretty much near enough the same price. Switch is like
Exactly.
$300.
Which if you look at 2011, 2012 standards for $300, this is 2017. This in the Switch is $300. That's a great freaking value.
It's the same price though.
No. It's the same price, but if you convert if you convert for inflation, back then that system was really like $400.
But bro, the Vita back then during that time, it was ahead of its time. Just like Supersonic Wolf is always ahead of its
The man is
time.
always
So
ahead of his time.
that console was ahead of its time. It just did certain things that the PS3 couldn't do.
Well, let me
It
ask you
had more
this.
RAM. It had more RAM than the PS3.
You're right. You're right. It did. And look at the price. It's okay. A Switch you can get for $299. How much more powerful is that Switch? 5, 6 years later, 7 years later. How more powerful is the Switch than the Vita?
All right, I'm willing to concede on that, okay? Because at the end of the day, it is 2017, and obviously, technology has evolved over the years. So it's pretty obvious, what 5, 6 years later is going to be more powerful than the Vita. That's a
Okay.
given.
Okay.
People have to be stupid to think that hey, the Vita would be more powerful. But yeah, it is a more powerful system. It is.
Okay. Okay.
I agree to that.
Okay. Well, guys, it's 1-1. It's a tie. All right.
I thought it was 2-1 to me, man. I thought
Okay.
that UI was mine. Well, okay, it's cool. It's cool.
Okay.
That could be a tie. That UI thing could be a tie because
Yeah, we'll call
to
that a
each of
tie
their own.
because it's one of those optional things. There is no way to say which is better. It's I like keeping something simple, and you like customizing, creating your own. So it's kind of hard to negotiate that. Next up, let's talk about what it's always about. What anything in gaming is always about. The games. Go ahead, General. Take it.
I believe in terms of games, I think the PS Vita library at this time, uh, they have much more software. You could argue with me all day if you want,
Mm-hmm.
but 1,500 games. That's not really a lie. The facts are there.
I agree.
So obviously it was out, since 2012. So comparing it sounds a little silly. The first 4 or 5 months of the Vita, they had a lot of fucking support from first party and third party. So they had enough games there. And if you're looking at it right now,
Mm-hmm.
2017, they have so many games coming. Even 2018, they have even more games coming. They have insane third party support. The variety is there.
Yeah.
Is there. If you want a platformers, they're all there. JRPGs, races, they're all there, man. You know what I'm saying? If
Yeah.
you want action adventure games, it's there. It's all there, dude. If you
You,
want what some people say weirdo games, it's all
mhm.
there.
Well, one thing about it, looking back at the Vita,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it had a crap ton of games. I mean, just offline, I named you at least 20 to 30 games that I had, and that I have digitally on the Vita. Um, but that kind of led me to a lot of disappointment with the Vita as well.
So can I ask you a question, Kratos? Why are you disappointed with the PS Vita library?
Well, because I had the system, right? Well, I got the system.
Okay.
And I will give any system 1 year on the
Yeah.
market before I say whether it's, however I see the outlook of that first year is very telling to me.
Yeah.
So the Vita had a bunch of great games up front. It really did. But some of the games that personally I was waiting for just never came. And that was a disappointment to me. Obviously, it delivered on the FIFA, the Maddens, and stuff like that. But the stuff like Killzone didn't come to the close to the end of life. Stuff like Call of Duty didn't come to the end
But
of life.
it still came. That's the
I
thing.
agree. I agree. I agree with you. It came. But again, if I had to wait 3 to 4 years to get that, um, now
So what you're trying to say, like Sony's support in terms of first party and everything, you're saying on the Vita was slow for the first few years.
I'm not going to say it's slow. Again, I'm going to put this in my terms. What Kratos wanted day one out of this system, you know me, Wolf. I'm a racer. I love my sports. I love, my shooters. I love, all of my story-driven games. I like a variety, but you know me at heart, man. I'm a racer. That's what I talk about. You know me for that.
Yeah, but
And
what you're trying to say is like the support was a little slow at first, and by the time this is what you're trying to say. By the time they started supporting it, people didn't care. Is that what
yes,
you were trying to say?
yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
So how about this? The
Mm-hmm.
PS4, it launched. The launch wasn't that great. It was pretty
Mm-hmm.
slow.
Mm-hmm.
But then it took them like a couple of years before they could really get a lot of games onto that console. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
third-party exclusives, a lot of second-party exclusives. So don't you think there's a bit of, I don't know, man. I think there's some that's like that's just contradictory right there, don't you think?
Not really, because again, remember I stated personally to me the games that I care about took a while to get there. I waited for the Gran Turismos that never came. Staying up late at night crying with my
That
Vita.
is, but that is
Wait,
the
wait, 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 wait.
only
Let me
that's
let me,
the
let me
only
finish.
game that you
Let me
wanted,
finish.
right?
Sitting in my bed alone, crying with my Vita in my hands, and no Gran Turismo to rock me to sleep. That was devastating, and it never came. So stuff like that. A full bred MotorStorm game. Obviously, MotorStorm RC, but that was like the RC cars. But it never came. Some of the big games that I really cared about just never came, like the Twisted Metal.
Yeah, but this is the thing. You had to wait a few years until
Ah,
Sony started kicking in
mhm.
with some of these games on the
Again,
PS4.
again,
So you're telling me you couldn't wait on the Vita like that?
I
Come on,
did.
bro.
I did. I waited on the Vita. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you how long I waited.
But
It's what
why couldn't people wait on the Vita, until Sony started putting in a lot of games for it,
you
like they
know.
did with PS4?
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, for one, when people make that argument with PS4 and Xbox One not having any games at launch, it's all crazy, and I'm gonna tell you why. Guess what?
But the same
Wait,
thing
wait, wait,
applies
wait.
to
Let
the
me finish.
handheld.
The exactly, but I'm trying to make this point here. It's crazy. People said that the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 didn't have any good games the first couple of years. That was nonsense. The games I care about was what? The Killzone. I named that. Okay, Killzone didn't come out to like year 4 on the Vita. But guess what? I got Killzone like day one. Infamous never came to the Vita, did it?
Yeah,
Am I
Infamous.
mistaken?
No, no, there was an Infamous game in the works for the Vita, and I believe it was canceled.
Okay. Well, another disappointment. But guess what? I got Infamous like shortly thereafter. So the games that I care about, even if they don't come out the first year, let me see the roadmap so I have something to hold on to. And I feel like with Vita, of course, they got a ton of third party support. I'm not gonna lie, they had the Madden, they had the Vitas. But to me as a gamer, I care majority about the first party because no third
All
party
right. Now that
is gonna treat your
say,
console.
could I
Go
just
ahead.
chime in? Could I just chime in there for a second? You just said just before I chimed in, you said that you care about the first party games, right? You care about the exclusive,
Mm-hmm.
about that greatness, right? That's what you love.
It's all
The
about the
greatness.
exclusive. It's all about the
Okay.
exclusive.
Okay. So you mean to tell me games like Uncharted, Golden Abyss, Killzone Mercenary, PlayStation All Stars, Gravity Rush, Mod Nation Races Road Trip,
Mhm.
Motorstorm RC, Unit 13,
Mhm.
Wipeout 2048,
Mhm.
Resistance Burning Skies, yo,
Mhm.
Little
Mhm.
Big Planet Vita,
Mhm.
Tearaway, the Sly Cooper Collection, Sly
Mhm.
Cooper Thieves in Time, the Ratchet Collection, the Jack Collection, the God of War Collection, and a whole lot more after that, including third-party exclusives. That was
Mhm.
not good enough. They had the exclusive Call of Duty game on the Vita.
Mhm.
They had an exclusive Assassin's Creed game on the Vita.
Mhm.
They had their own Madden as well. Like
They
you said, they had FIFA, they had Madden,
they did.
and you telling me that wasn't good enough?
Wolf, there's a such thing is called time, and time waits for no man, especially when it comes for a handheld.
But here's the thing: you're pretty content with your PlayStation 4 right now, right? That's what you're telling me.
I
Am I
am.
correct?
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Okay.
I
And
am.
you were content before with your PS4 when the Vita was around.
On my PS3, yeah, and my PS4, yes,
PS4 and PS3.
yes,
Okay. But here's the thing, though, like you didn't give time to your Vita while you had these consoles and you loved them, but you're giving time to your Switch, and that has way less games and way less features than the Vita. Could
yes,
you, my good sir, can you please explain that to me, man?
yeah, sure. Let me explain to you, okay? I had my PS3 when I had my Vita, and remember, the Vita was supposed to be a companion to the PS3, not the PS4. Big difference. So I had the Juggernauts on my PS3. So when I walk into GameStop and I see,
Hold on. Can I just slow you down? I
yes, sir,
thought
go ahead.
the PS2. I mean, sorry. I thought the PSP was a companion to the PS3 because it also had like remote play features, and I thought the
Remote?
Vita was a companion to the PS4.
No, no way, no. You're talking about 20. You're talking about 2011, 2012. By that time, to be honest, Wolf, by the time the PS4 came around, nobody cared about the Vita. The support, first party support had already stopped. The writing was already on the wall, and that is another thing that leads me to my next point. When a manufacturer says we personally are not making any more games for this product, but other people feel free to make games for it, like third party indie developers, then that causes me great concern because I'm an investor and you're an investor. We're all investors in these consoles and these video games. As an investor, you want to know how bright the future is. Would you, my good sir, invest in a company that says they're stop making products? Would you?
It kind of
Would
all
you?
depends. It
No,
all
would you?
depends because
Today,
with a
if
handheld,
Apple, if Apple, the company, says it's no longer making its products, it's no longer making the iPhone, it's no longer making the MacBooks, it's no longer making the iPods, it's no longer making the iMacs, would you, my good sir, invest in Apple stock?
but
Would you,
that's a
sir? Would you, sir? I'm just yes or no. Would you, sir? Would you, my good sir?
no, I wouldn't.
Okay.
But here's the
Thank you, sir.
thing, though. But no, but here's the
Thank you,
thing,
sir.
sir. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Let
You're
me
an
just
honest
add.
man.
Yeah, but let me add this though. As long as it's still getting software, all that shit shouldn't really matter, though, right? As soon as it's in its fifth year,
Mhm.
it's past its peak at that point. So how long has the Vita been around? Oh, yeah, over 5 years, right? If I'm not
Yes.
mistaken, it's been
Yes.
around for a long time. So obviously, first party has stopped supporting it, and some of the first party studios or other studios that were making games for it, they're on other projects right now, and they're making games on PS4 because that's where now you could blame Sony or you could even blame even the fan base out there. I believe some of the failures of the Vita partly it is to Sony is to blame partly, but then again the PlayStation also partly to blame because they didn't go out and support the games. Now you know how all these PlayStation guys, I'm talking to you guys in
Uh,
PlayStation Nation. You go
mm,
around saying that Xbox dudes don't buy games,
mm,
exponents don't buy games,
mm.
Quantum Break sold like trash, this and
Preach,
that. They
preach.
go around saying that stuff, right? And a lot of it is true. But the same thing should really apply here too, because the fact is they didn't really go out in numbers to support the Vita like that.
You know what? I agree with you on that. I
To
do
blame
agree
on that,
with
you
you on that.
can't just blame Sony because Sony did advertise the Vita.
They did, and they did. Here's one of those things, man. It's one of those things where it's kind of like with Nintendo last generation with the Wii U. You sold this product to, let's say, 5 million people. It's your job to give these people content. They invested into your company and that product. The least you can do is support their product. Once you stop supporting their product, their money goes down the drain. And again, as I stated, as I've always stated, exclusives what really brings me in, because I know nobody's going to make
I
games.
could list you a lot
Mhm,
of games on the Vita
mhm.
right now that's exclusive.
I know. Listen,
All right, bro,
I'm not
bro.
saying that they don't
The
have
Vita,
exclusives.
the PlayStation Vita have more exclusives than the Xbox One.
Listen,
That's a motherfucking fact right there,
I
yo.
don't doubt that. I don't doubt that, Wolf. I don't doubt that. We're talking about the moment Sony said, you know what? Yeah, none of you guys who are making games for us, or none of you studios, yeah, you guys aren't making any more games for the Vita. We're gonna focus solely on the PS3, and then we're gonna move over to the PS4. That's what I'm saying. The moment they did that, that made
Blame the fan
people
base.
that you can blame the fan base, but so it's kind of like Microsoft in the position they're in now. Yeah, you can blame the fan base for not buying their exclusives when they came, but at the same time, you're still in this hardware realm. You're still making hardware.
Now, the only thing I blame Sony for is the proprietary memory cards, right?
I didn't see.
Because them,
I didn't even bring that
no,
up.
no, I'm just saying I'm bringing it up
Yeah.
because I just want to bring out the flaws right now with the Vita.
Mm-hmm.
And I know the Vita is not a perfect system. We all know no system in this world is perfect. But one big flaw with the Vita is that it had those proprietary memory cards.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't have the memory stick. It didn't have micro SD. It didn't have any of that.
Yeah.
Like the 3DS did.
Yeah.
Right?
You're
You
right.
had to buy these very expensive memory cards. A 32 gig memory card, you have to pay over like $60. A
70 bucks.
60.
Yeah, $80.
If you wanted 128 gig, you have to pay like close to like $150 to $200. That's pretty much expensive of another handheld when you think about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could buy a good few games out of that. So those memory cards were a bitch when it came down to the price.
I agree.
And I understand why Sony did it though. Here's the thing. They wanted to avoid piracy.
Mm-hmm.
Because the PSP, there was a lot of piracy going on with that handheld. And, they lost a lot of money with the PSP. Although the PSP was a huge seller, it sold over 80 million units worldwide. In their first attempt in a handheld, they
Mm-hmm.
fucking killed it, bro. The PSP killed it, man, in their first attempt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And coming off of that success, obviously people would have thought that, hey, the Vita would pretty much do the same numbers, if not more. But one thing that held it back were the memory cards. It never
Yeah.
had inbuilt memory. Now, I know the Switch has inbuilt memory.
Yes.
It doesn't have
It
a whole
has.
lot.
It has the inbuilt memory, but it also has a slot for your standard off-the-shelf SD card, micro SD card. So you can go to any store and get you a 128 gig or a 256 stick for like $50.
Yeah, exactly. You could buy a
And so
256. Hey, in
yes,
some places I heard you could buy a 512.
yeah. Now, well, be careful for those guys. They don't currently make a 512 gig SD card. But what happens is if you go to Amazon or eBay, there's these Chinese manufacturers that will stamp a card that's like 32 gigabytes, and they will put 512 on it and sell it to you. But what happens is after you fill up 32 gigs of it, it'll recycle, and so it'll crash your system. So be aware. Do some research.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you, man. That was a big downfall to Sony. They're still trying that stupid proprietary Pro Stick Duo stuff, Memory Duo, and I think Nintendo kind of learned this lesson with that. It's like, look, you're already charging people $300 for your system. You're already charging them $60 for a game. Do you really want to charge them another $100 for a memory card? Are we at that stage?
Look, every company is
Mhm.
guilty for doing certain shady shit,
I
right?
agree. I agree.
You
We can
know,
agree on
it is
that.
what it is.
We
Now
can
with
agree on
now
that.
with the Switch, when it comes down to
Hmm.
like some people just don't like that D-pad, right?
Yeah,
Go out
you're
and
right.
buy a pro, they'll go out and buy a pro controller.
Yeah, you're right.
That's making people go out and spend money on controller so they can play the game in the appropriate manner, like people would on
Yes.
console, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say you don't want it as a handheld, you just want it as a home console.
Hmm.
What they give you with these Joy Cons, I've tried it and I just didn't like it. It was
Yeah.
terrible, dude. So that's why I think it's more
That's why
better
I'm
for me to
glad.
buy a
That's
pro
what.
controller.
Yes, that's why I'm glad they offer an optional
But
pro controller.
they offer it, but you have to pay for it. It doesn't come with the console.
Of
Now
course,
that's the point I'm trying to make.
you're right. But this is something like, for example, in order to play the Vita, you need a memory card. Okay, so the more and more, like even the second iteration of it had the um and I always thought that the LCD version, they were going to make it where it would take SD cards, and they just never did. Knowing that was one of the biggest downfall of the OG OLED Vita, and they just never did. Sony just said, we're going to stick with this. We're not going to do a redesign to allow you to use cheap memory cards. They never did. They stuck to their guns, and I think the people spoke. I'm a firm believer in the masses, the masses speak. You just have to deal with it, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, but what the point I'm trying to make is other companies are guilty of doing things like what Sony did with the proprietary memory cards.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to buy extra shit so you could just be settled and up and play, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Now, if I want my full setup as a home console on Nintendo, I have to invest in a controller if I want that experience.
yeah.
And with
That's
the
your personal
Xbox,
experience.
like they did certain shady shit too. Now you had to buy a Wi-Fi adapter, you had to
Mm-hmm.
buy a
Hard
playing charge,
drive. Yeah,
plug in a playing charge kit, an external hard drive. You have to buy all of that shit
yeah,
on the 360.
yeah.
So they all do it at the end of the day.
Well, let me
It's
ask you
not
this.
just one.
Let me ask you this, Wolf. When you buy the Switch, you pull it out of the system, you slap the Joy Cons on your console, and you play. And, wait,
Here's the
listen,
thing.
listen. No. Let me finish now. Let me finish. When you slap
Oh,
those Joy Cons on that screen, and you start playing Zelda or whatever game, how is your experience lessened because you're playing the console? It's not, right? It's not. You can play it perfectly fine that way. Where it
no,
comes,
it's a great
finish once you
handheld. I agree
dock
to
it.
you.
Yes. So, but here's the thing: they give you an optional controller pad for you to slap it on there. I understand it's small, it's too cluttered, my hands are too big. I totally agree. But here's the thing: they included that all in the box for the price of $299. So you can play it on the go or you can dock it. And whether you like how it feels or not, it's still your optional, it's still your taste. But the fact that they included everything that you need to get the experience in the box is a-okay with me. I can't knock them for that. Do I prefer the Pro Controller? Yes, I do, especially when I'm playing with others. I do not like racing Mario Kart with the small Joy-Cons, and giving somebody else the second Joy-Con. I do not. But is it functional? Does it work? And can it be done? Yes. Well, that's my requirements are done. My requirements
Well, but my requirements are not done because it doesn't have a legit D-pad.
it
To
doesn't
play,
have a legit.
if I wanted to play, let's just say Ultra Street Fighter 2,
Uh-huh.
I have to play on that horrible D-pad that's on the Switch.
Well, as a guy who owns Street Fighter 2
Like when I
on the
want to do
Switch,
when I want to do Hadouken, it's just gonna be horrible trying to do that shit. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, I'll
Now
tell you
on
what,
the
I
now the
play it all the
PlayStation,
time.
and now this is my point now.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the PlayStation Vita
Mm-hmm.
D-pad destroys the Switch D-pad.
Yeah, because it's
And
what, the nub
you don't
or
even have to buy an and you don't have to buy an extra controller to get that experience, because you could still get that experience just from your hand alone.
well, you can. You know what? If you want to have an apples to apple comparison, at least the Switch has R2 buttons. The Vita doesn't. It has the touch pads in the back that's clunky and gets in the way half the time. Half the time you hit the button in the back when you're not the D pad and the touch pad in the back when you don't mean to do it. So if you're gonna knock the Switch for doing that, for not having the D pad, you got to knock the Switch for not even having the secondary pads on.
Yeah, but what games do the Vita have besides the old PSP games where you need an R2 button? Because
A lot. FIFA, FIFA,
bro,
Madden.
every single,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean it, every single Vita game that was made solely for the Vita,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, everything on the button layout and everything just works. You know what I'm saying? You don't need an R2 button
But here's the thing:
because it's accustomed to the game. You know what I'm saying? The
yeah.
button layout and
I'm playing
everything is
FIFA,
accustomed
right?
to the game.
I'm playing FIFA. I don't mean to kick it, which is the back, which you use. Obviously, you can map your controls, but again, you have to. When I look at mapping controls, that means I have to go in and set up something that's not designed to do. And when I'm playing on my Vita, that's what I have to do because I try to turn the touchpad off because my big hands, I accidentally keep hitting the back of the touchpad, which causes a reaction in the game. Whether I'm playing Killzone, whether I'm playing, you know, just any game that functions with that. That's exactly what it is. So I can't knock, obviously I do believe, and I believe you can agree with me, Wolf, that Nintendo will probably, release some more Joy-Cons that does have a traditional D-pad on it. I believe they probably will. I think you probably think they will to make more money. That's just what companies do. That's why, I agree with you when it says.
And I just don't like the fact that you have to take them things out. I don't like taking out Joy-Cons from the actual console and doing this and then doing that and then putting them back on. It's just not good in the family kind of environment, because when kids do that kind of stuff, like take it out, take it in, that shit can break easily. It can easily break. And that's why I don't like the Joy-Cons. I've hardly ever taken out, I think I've only taken out the Joy-Cons once off my Switch just to see what it was. I put it back in and I never took it out ever again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the system will be lost without it. So I just feel like it doesn't need to come out,
Yeah. So, like games like 1-2 Switch, even Mario Kart. When I'm with my son and we're traveling or something like that, I'll take my Joy-Cons off and me and him will sit there and play for about an hour. He has a Joy-Con, I have one, and we'll play Mario Kart just fine, no issues.
But that's when you're playing it with him and you're obviously next to him. I'm just saying, if you just leave it with the kids while you're out at work or whatever, the shit can easily break.
For one, I would never leave my Switch with my little kids. It costs too much of a device. They, if that's, I would buy them one of those little iPad thingamajigs with the big foam cover on it, because kids gonna break stuff. So that's just, even with the Vita, would you really trust a kid with the Vita? If they drop it on the ground, what's going to happen? That's expensive. That's a $300 device, $249 device.
Yeah, but here's the thing: there won't be parts in the Vita that will get lost. I know for a fact there's parts on the Switch that could potentially get lost. Like, you know what I'm saying? The kids will throw it away. Shit can go missing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At least with the Vita, it's just one device, device only.
It's just like the
detach it or
Well, let me ask you
or whatever. You don't have to do any of that.
Let me ask you, it's just like the Wii U. The Wii U. Most people cried about the touchpad getting lost. Oh, well, I can't find the screen. Well, guess what? That's a major component. If you lose that, you can't do anything. So it goes to that. I would knock the company for what goes on in the household. I can't knock Nintendo for that. Now, if there's buttons that come off, like for example, my Xbox One Elite controller. Yeah. Shit, my son is playing, Halo with me, and he pushed the button a little bit too hard, the freaking analog stick will pop off because it's only held up by magnets. So I have had to tear up the whole house looking for these things. So that is something that I would agree with you on. But again, it's a difference between having a controller versus a whole unit. But yeah, totally great points that we made, and they're both opinions, and it depends on your play style.
Style is on how you prefer to play. Hey, if you like to take out shit, from both sides, and if you like to pretend that you're playing tennis and playing arms or whatever, that's cool. But me, I just like to play the handheld.
Look at the Xbox One Pro controllers that they have. The guys really, they come with a freaking screwdriver. You have to remove the components and turn it upside down and do this and do that. It's like you wouldn't dare let your kids play with something like that.
Oh, hell no.
Exactly.
But then again, that's a pro controller.
Yeah.
You would never let your kids anywhere near that.
Totally agree.
But totally agree. A regular controller to be like that, that's just weird to me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where you take it out, put it in, do this and do that. I don't know, man. It just makes me feel a certain way,
I hear you, man. I hear you. Well,
but could I just like I said, this is opinionated on both sides,
Definitely.
So,
go ahead.
The next thing I want to talk about is, we talked about first party, right? Sony did try for a good few years, and people just didn't want to buy it. Some people say it was too late, although I disagree.
Mm-hmm.
They just didn't buy it. They just didn't want to support it. It is what it is. But third party support has been there, and it has a lot of JRPGs. You have like Bandai Namco, Koei Tecmo, Square Enix. We have Final Fantasy games on there all the time, right? I don't know, like the Switch doesn't have, or there's no plans on the Switch having any major franchise on that console yet.
Okay.
Well, let's just say from Western third parties as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now they have FIFA coming. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
They have NBA 2K coming. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
They also have WWE 2K18. I'll give them that.
Mm-hmm.
They have Skyrim, which is really a remaster, but hey, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember you were sending me links that, hey, Ubisoft are going to be supporting the Switch.
Yeah, with three new games.
Yeah, 3 new games. That's what you said. 3 new games. I'll tell you what they are. It's the Rabbids game. It's the Rabbids game. It's that Rayman, and it's the Just Dance. That's all it is, bro.
Well, they already said besides those. So I mean, that's just Ubisoft. They said besides these, this is what it is. So I mean, I'm just
Assassin's Creed Origin, man. Then you need to really lower your expectations, sir.
No, I mean, I wasn't looking for, again, I've always said, if you're looking for a console replacement for your PS4 and your Xbox One from Nintendo,
I'm not looking
you're probably crazy.
I'm not looking for
it. You've never had that since the OG Nintendo.
Yeah, but
in the NES.
I am not looking for a replacement. I'm looking for something with a similar kind of experience on the go.
But basically, that's what you're telling me. If these are the games, okay, so you want to bypass NBA, WWE, Skyrim.
I'm bypassing.
Wait, no. I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking in general. If people bypass all the third-party games, first, all I heard about the Switch was there's no third-party support. Okay, so you, I, everyone in the chat, everybody knows that no matter what system comes out, the first thing people say is, "Well, will third parties support it?" Especially if it's a Nintendo product. Well, guess what? Third party is supporting. They've named the games that, hey, we didn't even know that were coming, and they little by little they started coming. You got the casual games, you got your WWEs, your NBA 2Ks, you got your FIFAs, you got your Skyrims, you got this and that, and
FIFA should be there by default, though, man. FIFA's on
okay,
cell phones too, man.
Okay,
so I ain't gonna FIFA, bro. Come on, dude.
Okay, so
Like
okay,
what they should really
no, no,
have.
no. Let's
They
not
should
count
have.
FIFA
They should
since
have
it
not.
doesn't count because it's a cheap third party. It's an iPad game. It's whatever. However you want to see it. The mere fact that it comes on this
Bro, the
platform.
Vita, the Vita had FIFA. The Vita had Madden.
Well,
You know what
well,
I'm
well.
saying?
Let me
Don't
ask you
have
this.
Madden.
Let me ask you this. Well, why do you want Madden? Why do you want FIFA?
I don't.
Why do
No, no.
you want all these
Personally,
third
I
parties
personally.
if the
No,
Vita has them or the other platforms have them? This is one thing. This is what people fail to realize about Nintendo. This is one reason Nintendo thrives. Minus, the whole sales of the Wii U. The mere fact that they're trying something different. A lot of people complain they want Nintendo to go against Microsoft and to go against Sony for the higher end 4K crap. Here's the thing. When I'm playing my
I'm not
stuff,
expecting
no,
high
no,
end
no.
hardware, man. I'm just
I'm
expecting games.
that means
Even if
we
it's scaled down.
no that means listen, the Vita had all of that. How did that sell? Here it is. Sony offered you console style graphics, console style games, third party, first party, everything you wanted. Yet the thing didn't sell the way it was supposed to. So what do people want? What do the gamers want? Now you have something that's offering you a different experience because
But
everyone.
like I said, it would have
Uh-huh.
been a different situation. Like I said, if they never had those proprietary memory cards and the pricing of it. That's all it was. That's what killed the Vita, really.
Well, we can look back. We
That
can
was the
look back.
kryptonite,
We
man.
can
It
look
really
back.
was, bro.
We can look back and guess what shoulda, coulda, woulda. The mere fact is, this Vita, you and I both agree, it offered everything that most people should want. Right? There was nothing lacking on the console in terms of games, which is why we buy these consoles. It had everything: first party, second party, third party, fifth party, whatever. Yet people seem to say, "Nah, we don't want this." Why? So Nintendo's coming from they're in their
Hey,
own.
hey, let me tell you
Go ahead.
something. It still sold more than the Wii U, though.
It did. It did. You're right. So here you got a brand new console that is Nintendo. Nintendo said, "Look, we'll let Microsoft and Sony fight it out for the 4K and all this other crap. We're going to stay on our own lane. We carved out our own lane. We're going to do our own thing. We're going to give people new experiences that they can't get anywhere else." They tried it with the Wii U. As much as that system failed, it was something that no other company did. It gave you an off-screen and the on-screen ability. It was a step. It was something new. It's just like the Wii, the original Wii. It gave you something new with motion control, something that you've never seen. I applaud Nintendo for giving people something different. Who wants 3 consoles on the market that gives you the same exact thing? If Nintendo did the same thing that Xbox One did and PlayStation 4 did,
No, just give
what what was
a
the reason?
traditional thing, right? Where you could play the games in the simplest way possible.
Ex-
That's all gamers really want.
Basically, you
And
want a
give their
PlayStation and the Xbox One.
and give their brilliant first party games on it. That's what people want.
Basically, you want a PlayStation and an Xbox. That's what you're asking for.
I want a Nintendo system
That
with
gives you
great no. I want a Nintendo system with great first party support, which I know it's gonna get, but I want that third party support too.
okay. Well, let me ask you this. Okay, people keep saying third party support,
Do you
but
know?
what? Okay,
Do you
listen. Wait, wait,
know?
wait. Let me finish. This
Let me
system
just
has
mention
been out
this.
for 4 months, and you want it to have 5, 6, 7 years of Vita catalog within the
No,
first 4 months.
of course not. But I want to see that.
What are you
But their
expecting?
roadmap don't. It doesn't impress me. Like what they
Well,
have coming in the next 18 months, it don't impress me right
well,
now.
you don't know what they have coming in 13. They only allowed you to see what they had at the treehouse. You didn't even know the NBA 2K. You didn't
They've
even know
showed,
WWE. You
bro.
didn't
They've
know that
shown,
Rabbit. You didn't know
they've
none of
shown, but they've shown what's coming within the next 16 to 18 months.
Wolf.
This year and some of next year, man.
You've seen some of the games. You've seen some of the games. To tell you the truth, at the end of the day, most people go.
They are getting some games that I like. They're getting some of
No,
the
no.
niche. They're getting some
Listen.
of the niche games. They are. They got games like I Am Setsuna.
Yeah.
One Piece Unlimited Worlds. They're
Mhm.
getting that. Knights of Azure from Koei Tecmo. They're getting that. They're getting Xenoblade Chronicles, which it's not really a niche game, but
Yeah.
it's a great JRPG. I'll give them
Yeah.
that. They're
Yeah.
getting the Fire Emblem Warriors. I'll give them that. But then
But
besides that, those are first party games I just mentioned. But
let me
I'm
ask you.
talking about where are
Let me ask you this,
those
Wolf.
big where are the big third party
Let me
bangers?
ask you
Where are the
this.
Destinies, the Call of Duties,
Wait.
the
Okay.
Battlefields, the Star Wars Battlefronts? Like where they at?
Basically, what you're saying is you want the games that you already are gonna buy on your PlayStation and Xbox One. Basically,
Yeah, but
why would you buy?
you cannot assume that every Nintendo fan in the world owns a PlayStation or an Xbox. Some Nintendo fans just own Nintendo and they want everything on that console.
Let's face it, Wolf. If you're a Nintendo only guy and you're expecting a Call of Duty, a Battlefield, a Battlefront, come on now. There is not a
Ghost Recon. Like where they all at?
Why would
bro,
you?
They're not even,
come on,
bro.
Let's stop it. Let's stop it. Let's stop it.
Bro.
There is not one single person.
Let me finish saying this. Even sometimes in certain situations, Xbox have a few over the Switch.
It should.
Xbox, bro. The Xbox
again, bro. How long is Nintendo? How long is Xbox?
Go ahead. Please hear me out on this.
Go
Without
ahead.
any interruptions. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
The Xbox are getting the new Monster Hunter game. They're getting Kingdom Hearts 3. They have Final Fantasy 15. And they're probably going to get every Final Fantasy from this point on. And none of it has showed up on the Switch. Or even announced on the Switch. They're not even getting Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Xbox are getting more of these big Japanese games over the Switch. Now, the Switch are getting the smaller titles. I'll give him that. But those big ones like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, Monster Hunter. And Monster Hunter was a Nintendo exclusive at one point. Why the hell is it not on the Switch? Could you answer that for me, sir? Yeah,
I'm going to answer.
Answer that for me, sir.
Here's the thing, okay? The system has been out for 4 months. Again, I'm going to make my point again. You're asking, why aren't all these future games that may or may not eventually come, why are they not announced today, the 4th month of this system being on the system? That's what you're asking.
Can I tell you one thing?
Listen to that. Listen to that logic. Let me ask you this, okay? When is the next Xbox exclusive dropping? When are you going to have some big major Xbox exclusives coming?
They still got a lot of
listen. I don't care. I asked you about the exclusives. So if you're not getting that on the Xbox, how dare you ask of that from something that just came on the market 4 months ago? They've already announced, like, you already named like 50 games already.
Let me keep it real with you. A lot of the games that I play on my PlayStation, or my PS4, a lot of it is like JRPGs and stuff like that. A lot of Japanese games. Some games that people don't even care about.
Yeah.
And some of them are not even like first party exclusives. You know what I'm saying? So I most of the games that I play are like third parties and shit. Like Neo is my game of the year.
Yep.
That's not even a first party game. You know what I'm saying? So like, to me, I don't really care for first party like that if it's not good for me. If it's not my type of game.
Exactly. Well, I think
same thing with the Xbox. Now with the Xbox, when like I said, when I was gaming over there, the majority of the games I was playing were third party games. Because I was enjoying a shit ton of them. I'm sure you enjoy a lot of third-party games on your PS4. You play a lot of Ghost Recon. You know what I'm saying? And you tell me how much you love that game. So
definitely,
of course, if you want to say I got the nerves to ask for that, of course, I want third-party on the Switch. Yeah. I want those big bangers on the Switch as well, man.
And again, I'm like, for example, I came to you and I was like, hey, man, this thing, I didn't even know, obviously I was like, hey, this thing has Disgaea 5. Hey, this thing has Monster Hunter, Double X coming. Hey, I was naming a lot of the JRPGs in the Japanese action games that you like, because I'm like, hey, this is something that was offered to you on this platform. But guess what? When you had Xbox, it wasn't offered to you.
It wasn't offered to me on Xbox. And you are right about that. But like Disgaea 5, That's
Mm-hmm.
been on the PS4 since like 2015.
Okay, it's been on the
You
market for
know,
2 years. Yeah,
and you showed me Fate Extella. That's on the Switch,
yeah.
right? Fate Extella is also on the Vita,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been on the Vita for a while, and it's been on PS4. So
Yeah. Well,
you
I'm
know, but
just
it's good. I'm happy that
I'm
people
just
are getting it though.
encouraged. I'm
I'm
just
no,
encouraged that for someone, for example, I'm just encouraged that this platform, whether you have the game or not, it's encouraging and it's offering Wolf something. It has something to offer Wolf. So whether it's old games, you can at least know that, hey, at least if I get to Switch, which you have, there is something that can cater to my particular needs. Now, if you're the casual gamer that just like Call of Duty and Grand Theft Auto and Madden and stuff, this just may not be the platform for you. But that's always been Nintendo prior to the
yeah,
you
but
know
like the Vita it has a lot of shooters. You know what I'm
yes
saying? There's shooters on the Vita if you want those shooters. The sports games are all there. They have that virtual tennis, 60 frames per second, by the way.
yeah
There's a lot of 60 frames per second games on the Vita, believe it
yeah
or not.
well
It will
you
surprise
got
you when
that
you see it.
tennis, but let's face it, the fact that Nintendo is getting some third party support is really encouraging because it's getting more than it seems. It's getting more in its 4 month, 4 months on the
Third part,
market.
there was a lot of third party support on the Wii U at
But
the beginning. Bro, they had the best version of Need for Speed with PC textures only sold 20,000 copies, bro.
I had that. PC textures.
Yeah, apparently that was like the
I
definitive
had it.
edition.
I
It
had
was
it
a definitive edition. It was better
because it was
looking than
off.
the
Because it was
360 and PS3. It was the best version of that game. But
yeah.
no
But
one bought that shit.
remember the Wii U came out after the PS3 and the Xbox 360 was fading out. So of course it should have the better looking versions of those. And
Yeah,
it did have
but
better color and
it
it
sold
had
like shit
way
though.
more memory and stuff like that. It did. You're right. But again, it's Nintendo. When people think of Nintendo, they think of Mario. Like you mentioned the tennis. That tennis has is not going to compete with Mario Tennis. Mario Tennis is going to kill it. People buy games on Nintendo for the
Gimmicky
Mario's,
stuff.
Mario, anything Zelda, anything Kirby, anything Donkey Kong, anything
Yoshi.
Pikmin, Yoshi, all of that. That's the bedrock of most of our childhoods, Wolf, whether it's nostalgia purpose or not. When we think of Nintendo, that's what you think of. You think of the Marios, the Zeldas, the Kirbys. You and I both have a 3DS. We both probably own the Wii's, the Wii U's. We've owned probably every Nintendo console to ever come out. At the end of the day, the Vita, which I wish it would have sold better. I wish it would have been the end all be all. I wish it would have put the 3DS to bed, but it didn't. And I've came to reality with that. I think the masses are just not really ready to have a console that they can say, look, I don't care about having an Xbox anymore. I don't care about having a PlayStation anymore. This is going to be my main console of choice. I have everything I need from here. I have all my Call of Duties, my Maddens and everything on my handheld. I also have my Marios and I also have my Infamouses and my Halos. That's just never going to happen. And I think because of that, there's going to be a big divide, which is why you have the Nintendo fans that cares for handhelds, and then you have some of the diehards that care for the Vita.
Yeah, but the Vita is still popular in Japan. It still sells,
It
believe it
is.
or
It
not.
still has games coming out. I
Yeah.
mean, like I
See,
said, like I stated, Sony killed first
look,
party support, but third party is still going.
look, Sony Interactive Entertainment America that the Vita is dead. They want you to think that the Vita is not really that relevant. To them, it's not really that important because they're not making games for it.
Yeah.
But everywhere else around the world, people still care for the Vita, dude. People in
D-
Asia, people in Japan, they still care, they still buy, and they still play. People in Europe, this is Ponyland right here in Europe.
yeah.
People
Well,
still play the Vita over here.
you know what happened, right? So Sony said that they were going to stop making first party games for the Vita. And
But
then they
just
took the.
recently, there was an interview with Sean Layden. They're
Mhm.
actually reconsidering certain things, and you may see certain games appear from Sony or published by Sony on the Vita.
Yeah. Well, I took.
I could show you that link if you want as well.
No, I believe you. I mean, I believe it. Matter of fact, I think I read it. Here's the thing. Okay, so after they said that, they took the internals of the Vita and they put it in a little plastic box and they called it the PS TV, the PlayStation TV. Then they started selling that, and now that made a great compelling thing where, like, look, you know, hey, I can take this on the go. I can plug this in. I can stream all my movie media. I can play all my Vita games. I can use PlayStation Now, all of that with that stuff. And I thought that was like the best thing ever.
Oh
But
yeah, definitely.
people just didn't buy. And I thought that was a crafty way of Sony moving away from the Vita, but still keeping all the production going and moving it towards the TV. But it just didn't catch on. I think I don't know why, man. I really there is nothing that the Vita does poorly that I can say. I don't think it
It
does
does
anything
everything.
poorly.
It does nearly everything right. You
Yeah.
know, 90% of the things it does it right. You know what I'm saying? The only
But
thing
let me
wrong it
ask you
did
this,
was the
Wolf.
memory card shit. But other than that,
But
it
let
does
me
everything right.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you this. Now we're in agreement. Kratos and Wolf are in agreement. The Vita, to us, did everything right, minus the memory cards. Why is it that the 3DS still outsold it? And people just still flock to the 3DS over the Vita. Why?
Because the PlayStation Vita was a handheld device that had adults as the targeted audience, while the 3DS had the targeting audience of kids.
Mhm.
And there's more kids than adults in this world. You know, there's a new kid born every time. So
But
obviously, people are gonna buy these things for their kids. They don't want to buy, a Vita with Call of Duty and Killzone for their kids. They wouldn't want to do that. Although, the Vita still had a lot of, platformers like Ratchet, Sly Cooper. You know what I'm saying? Even some old PS1 class. They even had like the Crash trilogy on the Vita as
mhm.
PS1 classics. The Vita still had a lot of games like, Jack and Dexter, it had enough, kiddie type games, but
Yeah.
still, Pokemon is Pokemon and Mario is Mario at the end of the day. So it is what it is. That's why the 3DS sold more. Now does that mean it's a better console than the Vita?
Mhm.
Hell fucking no, bro.
Yeah.
That's like saying the Wii, the original Wii, because it sold more than the 360 and PS3, that was better.
Yeah.
And that's far from the truth.
Yeah, you're right. Um Again, everyone has their benchmark of everything, and at the end of the day, I think he's universally agreed upon that whichever one sell the most is the king. And
No, no, I disagree. That is not true, bro.
well, okay, but with that logic though, Wolf, and I again, I have to concede this to just the facts, man. Um, Regardless of what people think about the Wii.
Well, then that means if you think that because it sells, then you obviously think the Wii is a better console than PS3.
You know what? I can't hear. Here's the thing now. Okay, now as a
That's what
person,
you're saying, basically. In other words, you might as
I
well say
can't.
it
Hey,
that
hey,
way.
look, I bought the Wii. I played with it for like 2 hours. With all the games that I bought, I played for 2 hours. I put it back in the box and put it up, and it's been collecting debts ever since. But again, the mere fact that people were compelled to go out and spend
Yeah, it was
$200
the soccer moms and the grannies
yes,
buying
yes.
that
But
shit,
at the end of the
bro.
day, Wolf, at the end of the day, isn't that like isn't that the benchmark right now? You have Xbox guys screaming that their console is the best and is the better platform. You have the PlayStation guys saying, "Nope, we outsold you 3-1, and we're better because we have better performance. We have this." And then you have the Nintendo guys saying, "Nope, we have Mario in the story." How are you ever going to reconcile who's right, who's wrong?
No, I would say, look, PlayStation guys, when they say the PS sells, I would disagree with that totally. Now, if they
Mhm.
said to me, "Yep, their console's better because they have better first party, they have more second party exclusives, like a lot of third party support, they have more features, they got this, that, and the third," then yeah, that's a compelling argument. But if
Mhm.
you're just gonna say, "Hey, it's better Sony because of sales,"
Mm-hmm.
That does nothing for me.
Yeah.
That's not doesn't sound too enticing enough for me to go out and buy a console
Well,
because it sells. It means it's the best. No.
so with that being said, guys, you heard it tonight on the Greatness Podcast. NPDs doesn't matter. NPDs are dead. Supersonic Wolf
We're
has.
talking
I'm
about
just joking.
sales
I'm
matter
just
in
joking
bro.
with you.
Sales
I'm just
matter,
joking with you.
bro. Sales do matter.
Yeah.
Sales matter for sequels and new consoles in the future. That's the only reason why it matters. But to use that as an argument to say that's a better console, I think that's pretty much ridiculous in my opinion.
Yeah. And to push your point, push home your point, it's just like saying, the iPhone is better than Android. But when you look at Android's phones outsell the iPhone like 20, 30 to 1. Only
But
because
bro,
it's more.
how many Androids are there though? There's
That's Wolf. You
a
just proved
Panasonic one, a Sony
you
one.
just
You know
proved
what I'm
my
saying?
point. You just proved my point. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Target, you can go to Walgreens, any corner store, and gas station. They'll sell you an Android phone. It's because they're sheer
Even the
volume.
Obama phone, that's a fucking Android phone.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Android phones are everywhere, yo.
yeah. Have you seen the new Trump phone?
Is there a Trump phone? I don't even know.
Nah, Trump ain't giving you shit.
Oh, you crazy, bro.
Yeah. Well, guys.
But no, there's one more thing I wanna bring up.
Okay.
One point I want to bring on why the Vita is better.
Okay.
It has more features. It has remote play. You can even play your PS4 games on this bad baby over here.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the games, man, they look pretty much identical, and then sometimes they run, pretty much identically as well. They look so damn good, especially with that OLED display. Trust me, when you see a game like Battlefield sized down onto a handheld, trust me, you'd really appreciate how that game really looks. And not only that, dude, you could send messages to your friends on PS Vita.
Chat.
Bro, and on PS4, I could send you messages from my Vita to your PS4, including party chat, like you just mentioned. Bro, party chat. Yeah. Not only from Vita to Vita, but from Vita to PS4. It has cross-party chat.
Were you able to do all of that within 4 months of the Vita being launched? Because I have a firm memory when I bought it day one.
I have a firm memory too. I don't think that was the case.
My point.
But I do remember one thing. When Sony was showing the Vita conference, they were saying even then that we're gonna have party chat. I do remember that.
Yeah, remember they showed the people sitting on the couch and people on the subway and people doing all that. You remember that?
They were inviting people in parties. I seen these little commercials.
Exactly, but none of that stuff was available at launch. That stuff didn't come till later on. So the point I'm trying to make now, I think we agree the Vita was a great platform. It died prematurely. The people stopped supporting it.
I don't think it's dead yet, man. It's alive and well, man.
Okay, well, it's you heard it first here. The Vita is not dead. It's alive and well, especially in Japan.
Yes, sir.
But what I'm trying to say is, for those of you guys who are waiting, if you're waiting for something, regardless of what you're waiting for, just remember now, the Nintendo Switch has only been on the market for 4 months. For us to expect them to have something that they've never had, which is a full-fledged party chat system, full-fledged messaging system, full-fledged remote
then don't
share.
Don't launch the console if that shit ain't ready,
Well, why did the Vita launch when it wasn't ready for them? Why did the PlayStation 3 launch when it didn't have Rumble in the controller? Why did the Xbox One launch?
At least they didn't force people to use a phone as an app in a way of talking to people and inviting people. They didn't make you do that. They said, "Hey, you know what? We're gonna wait. We're gonna make people wait for seeing the patch is ready. We're gonna put out the patch, send out the patch to every device, and you're gonna get to have party chat.
Well, you just proved another point. What you just said, okay, you just said Vita, Sony just said, we're just not going to give it to you. At least Nintendo, even if it's in the beta phase, they're giving you an option. Whether you like it or not, whether you hate it, whether you love it, it's something. Sony decided for you. We're not going to give you this until, let's say, a year later.
The messaging was there day one, though.
You know what? At the end of the day, there was features that was not there on every single console, and yet 4 months in, I didn't hear anybody complaining about this. I didn't hear anybody complaining about that.
Yeah, but have Nintendo confirmed to anyone? Have Nintendo confirmed that they're going to get a dedicated app for the Switch where you can party chat, or they're going to bring out a patch where you can party chat? Because at least with Sony, they let people know from the beginning, even before it's going to have party chat.
See, this is
what was a selling feature. They were using that as a selling feature.
This is where people don't listen. People hear what they want to hear. The majority of the people that saw this whole debacle about the whole party chat thing and the whole how do you communicate with people over your iPhone and stuff like
that. You need this bypass device. You know what I'm saying?
No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't. That's a lie. That's a lie. Let me clear that. That's false. As an owner of the Switch and the owner who's used this app, and the person who's used this phone, you don't need any cables. You don't need any bypass cable. You don't need anything. That is only for Hori's headset, for their specific Splatoon headset. It comes with those cables. It comes with that connector. I have an iPhone. Okay. My iPhone, open the chat, communicate with my friends, either speakerphone, either regular headphones, or either my wireless AirPods, my Apple AirPods.
And that's the point I'm trying to make. Why do I need
I'm trying
secondary device?
No, that's not what you said. What you said earlier was all these stupid cables. And I'm trying to clear out the misconception. You do not need that mess of cables from here going there. You don't need all of that. That was misleading and that was false. You do not need all of that, guys. If you have an iPhone, download the Nintendo Chat app and chat with your friends. That's all you need. I'm just trying to clear up the misconception. This system has only been on the market for four months. Now, I'm not damage controller for Nintendo. Obviously, I own all the platforms. I'm just trying to take the voice of some of the people who don't even have the console, and they're retweeting memes and they're stating a bunch of false stuff. Will we get to...
Let me ask you a question. What is better? Putting in a headset in the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and you could talk to your friends immediately, or having a second device as your phone where if somebody calls you, you just straight away disconnected from the app. And on top of that, if you do want to talk to your friends, they have to have the same game as you. While on the Vita, they don't have to even play the same game. I could be playing one game, my friend could be playing another game, and we could just chill out and just talk.
Let me ask you this. How long has the Vita been on the market?
That's beside the point, though.
Why is it beside the point?
Nintendo reassured
Why
people?
is it beside the point? Nintendo has stated, you can go on their website, they've already stated, but again, people want to hear what they want to hear. People want the end.
I know what I've heard, though.
People want end of the life features day one. That's just a fact. Here it is, but Nintendo didn't give you that. They say, hey, look, we have a beta app that's coming out, okay? A beta app on your phone. This is how you're going to party chat with Splatoon. This is what you're going to do. We're not going to charge you. Once we get the system right, once we get everything the way we want it to, we will take it out of beta and charge you for all of these features. We're going to charge you for the party chat. We're going to charge you for this. We're going to charge you for all of this stuff. This is our online thing. We're going to charge you $20 for it. It's not going to come day one. This is why it's in beta. This is why it was only available for Splatoon the game, because they know so many people want to play this Splatoon 2, which is esports, by the way. They wanted to give you an option. Whether you like the option or not, it's an option. Wanting all of these features day one is asinine.
So you're not willing to concede on the party chat. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not going to concede. Because again, I've stated the system has been on the market for 4 months. Nintendo has stated when you open the app, when you go to the website and they talk about
ladies and gentlemen, everyone on the chat, PlayStation, it's okay with having another device where you could talk to your friends. He's okay with that.
Yes, I am. I'm okay with it. And I'm going to tell you why I'm okay.
I'm not.
Well, you're not okay with it, but I'm okay with it because I know the system has only been on the market for 4 months versus a system that's been on the market for going on, 8 years. So for
Five,
me,
come on, man. You love adding the extra 5, 4,
well,
and
when did
three,
when did
two
it?
more years on top,
Okay,
man.
okay. Well,
You do that. I realize
it's been a
I've
long
known
time.
you. I've known you for a while. I've known you for a while.
Okay,
One thing I
okay,
learned about you,
okay.
Kratos, is that when it comes
Uh-huh.
down to sales numbers or
Yeah,
whatever, when it comes down to anything in your favor, you
yeah.
say a few less for the competition and 2, 3 more for the other side.
You heard it here first.
He's a
Kratos
he's a sly
exposed.
little devil, man. He's a
Man, you can't. You're not
sly
supposed
little
to.
devil.
You're not supposed to let my secrets out on live air. That's after show. That's for the
Nah, I've
Patreons.
only played. I've
Hey,
only
that's for the
played.
Patreons. Yeah. No, but basically, I'm just saying is I want to give this thing at least a year. Nintendo has been forthright with saying that their system is in beta. They're working on it. They won't charge you until they get it right. So I'll take them at their word. I bought let me tell you guys something, okay? I bought a system for $500 roughly 4 years ago. It's gonna remain unnamed. I'm not gonna expose them. But I spent $500 for a console
I
last
think people
generation,
pretty much already know, man.
and it came with this spy camera, okay? And the company told me that I couldn't disconnect that and play my games. So guess what? I was stuck with that. And guess what? After 6 months, other people were able to play that system without the spy camera for $100 cheaper. This, ladies and gentlemen, is madness. So if I gave them a chance, why can't I give Nintendo a chance to prove at least a year, at least until their thing come out of beta on whether it's going to be built in or not? And at the end of the day, I'm gonna leave this particular subject at this. At the end of the day, no matter what you say about their party chat system, no matter what you say about their third party lineup not having Battlefield and some of the other big titles day one or the first year or whatever.
I didn't say day one,
No, no,
but at
no.
least
I'm
have
not
it
speaking
planned.
to you. I'm not talking about you or what you said. I'm just speaking in general because there's probably a lot of people who said way more things. You're just being realistic about it. But there's a lot of people that say way more outlandish things than even that. I'm just saying. At the end of the day, this thing is still sold out. People still can't get their hands on it. It's still going for mad
Well,
numbers on eBay.
well,
How long?
I went shopping recently, and there's
Uh-huh.
stacks and piles of them everywhere. So I don't know.
And you heard it, ladies and gentlemen. Wolf was in a dark alley with a bunch of guys with a
Anyone
truck with the
go?
gate up. Go and buy a bootleg on the third on the black market.
Go to Stratford Westfield. You will see stacks and stacks of them everywhere. So if you guys thinking that they're pretty hard to find, go over there. There's so many of them out there. Even the ones with the colored Joy Cons as well. Plenty of them out there.
Well, I think for the masses, they kind of stick with big names like Best Buy and GameStop and Amazon. I think the mom and pop stores, I know they have a lot, probably in stock. They're even GameStop are offering the Switch with like 4 and 5 games. That's the only way you can buy them is if you buy that big bundle, which sucks, and that's a scam. They should just be able to sell you the system by itself and not force you to spend
That's a
$500-$600 on it.
That's a scam.
Yeah,
it is.
So that's why if GameStop goes out of business, I won't cry.
They're doing that exact same shit with the NES Mini.
Yeah,
You
the
could buy
same
that
thing.
if you buy all this other shit along with it.
Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I do not support and I do not buy.
Okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said, party chat wise, I'll give at this point in time, I'll give that to the Vita.
Definitely the Vita. I'll give it to the Vita too.
But I'm willing to give Nintendo a chance. I'll give them the benefit of a doubt. Hopefully, they could get this shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, they can get it together, and maybe within a year's time, we can have an actual app on the system where you can download and you can just talk to your friends without having to use a mobile phone or iPhone or whatever.
Facts.
But let's are we willing to move on from the debate to an actual topic?
Yeah,
because this is the 25th Greatness Podcast. We're like this is a core of 100. Like we're getting there. It's still pretty much a core of a milestone, and
Definitely.
it's been great since we've done the very first show. I think you came in the podcast in I think the third or fourth show.
Yeah,
You've been pretty much involved in it.
yeah, I believe so. Guys, my first experience, with podcasting and stuff like that was due to my man Wolf. We were playing PlayStation, playing at greatness, and the conversation was livid, and it was fire. And he said, we should do this was basically a podcast. And, and I said, hey, look, I never podcast. I ended up on, his podcast, the Supersonic channel. And, the rest is history. Met a lot of you good guys in the chat section and in the Twitter and in the community. And, I won't look back. I consider you guys my friends and people that I communicate with, on a day-to-day basis.
No doubt, man. But yeah, man, you've been there for a while. It's great that this is episode number 25, and hopefully this can go on until episode 1000.
Definitely.
Who knows? But let's get to the topics now. Now, whoever won, whoever lost, we let the people decide. At
That's
the end of the day,
people. Definitely.
I'm not going to be claiming any kind of victory or whatever. I just believe that I've had better experience with my Vita than I had with my Switch. Yeah, that's how I feel, and I know you feel very differently. You've been playing the Switch a lot, and you love Splatoon. You uploaded gameplay on your channel, which looked pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of having a debate, man. You agree to disagree, and nobody's right and nobody's wrong. The people can just decide who had the more valid points. And that's all there is to it, man.
And the greatest thing about it is we own it all.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
If you own it all, you can't miss out on anything.
Exactly, man. Like, we're not really frauding or anything like that because we have them both.
Exactly.
But yeah, we're gonna have another PS4 exclusive coming. I believe at midnight tonight. Patapon remastered. I think it was like that Loco Roco type game or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is a remastered game from the PSP. This is a remastered PSP game. And they're bringing it to the PS4, and a lot of people love this game. I think it was really popular in Europe and in Japan. I don't know about the US, but yeah, man, like, people love this game. It's really beloved on the PSP. So it's cool that they're bringing it back. I didn't really play it, but I've seen the gameplay. I always wanted to know what this game was about. I don't even know if this game is on the Vita right now. But if it is, I'll definitely give it a try. But yeah, it is a first-party game, I believe. It's a Japan studio, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Japan studio.
So yeah, man, look, the game first-party games, even at the second half of the year, alongside GT Sports and Uncharted. So...
Don't keep on naming all that greatness, because from what I hear, Sony's second half of the year is going to be dry, and their holiday season is going to be dry. But from what you tell me, it's going to be more wet. We're still going to be drowning
they're making it rain on us, yo. Like, even in the second half of the year, like we've mentioned the games over and over again. August is just going to be jam packed.
Yeah.
Just August alone is going to have more exclusive games to the PlayStation than what Xbox One has for the whole entire year. It's crazy and mind-boggling how, that's actually a fact.
Well, can I ask you this quick question? How do you handle people that forget about the first half of the year like it doesn't exist and only focus on 2 to 3 months of the year at the end and then declare victory? How do you deal with those people?
Man, you know what? I don't even entertain that. You know what I mean? I don't even entertain any of that shit because to me that's so weird. It's like they've been living under a rock for the past 10 months. Yeah. And then if they get like one W towards the end of the year, they consider that to be some kind of victory for the whole entire year. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And that's what they try to say. They say only the holiday season matters. Right? That's what they say.
But with that being said, Wolf, they've lost like the last 2 holiday seasons. So when does that W come? I mean, I know the Microsoft executives last year, if you remember, which I know you do. Do you remember they touted that the Xbox is the best-selling console the third quarter of the year or the second half of the first, some kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he tried to spin it all. He tried to spin it and kind of damage control. Mr. Aaron Greenberg, shout out to him. He tried to, damage control and say, hey, we won the second half of the year or some shit like that.
We won from 12 o'clock to 3 o'clock. We won. Game over.
Yo,
yeah, it's crazy.
Yo, you're
so
killing
you
me right
lose
now,
you lose 9 months out of the year, right? And you declare victory. How, in what world does that matter? Like, how does that work? This is a professional company now. This is not just.
Well, these are the same people that go around saying that America is the biggest consumer market in the world. That's what matters. Worldwide don't matter. Although, the PS4 sold 18 million in the United States. Shout out to Paul Rock. He done his research and that's the numbers that he showed. But, just in Europe alone, it sold 24 million consoles.
So you mean to tell me these guys at Microsoft, the executives and the fan base, would rather say, hey, we only care about our little community right here. We don't care about anything else out there.
That's what they're trying to say. They say, oh, we care about our little fan base, full of Trump supporters and everything in America. All those weirdos, hillbillies that live in trailers or whatever. They care about those guys. But they don't care about that diversity, They don't really care about that, bruh. They don't care about the rest of the world.
Exactly.
And that's just wrong, man. That's where you fail. You have to cater to everybody, like every crowd possible. Yeah. That's why Sony is succeeding. That's why Sony are number one in Europe. They own 90% of Europe.
Wow.
Over 90%. 24 million consoles sold. The majority of that 60 million sold right now in homes, that's come from Europe.
So with that being said, now we can see why the PlayStation outsold Xbox 3-1. What you just said, now that makes sense.
Now besides Europe, if you're talking like Asia, the rest of the world, the Middle East, South America or whatever, everywhere else, they're still buying it there too. So you telling me that don't matter? Just the US matters? Like, oh man, you bugging, man.
Yeah. I guess to put it in a certain analogy, it's just like, you don't try to be the world champions. You just want to be the local champions, the champions of your city. We won the state of Washington. Forget the rest of the 49 other states.
Oh,
oh man, I tell you, the logic.
Yeah, exactly.
The logic.
It's like, hey, you want to basically win the league in the 5th division instead of the Premiership, right?
Exactly. We're the state champions. Forget the world. Forget the world champions or
the World Series or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. That's nuts. But you know what? With that being said, man, it is kind of sad because this is not just coming from the fanboys. You would expect this from the fanboys, but you're getting this from the executives.
I know that's the shit that they feed to the fan base. That hey, we're number one in America, and they make people think that they're number one for real. I remember there was this one commercial where they were saying number one selling console in America, which was a complete lie.
Yeah.
Do you remember that commercial? And they had to take that down.
I remember that. Yeah, they lied and they had to take it down.
But yeah, basically, when they meant by number one, they probably were talking about the 3-month MPD wins that they had at the second half of last year. That's why they probably mentioned number one during that time.
Oh, so it's that trickery talk.
That trickery talk. That's what it was.
Okay.
But besides that, we have a new custom controller on the way, man. We have more of that greatness coming. We got that Destiny Control 2, baby.
Boy,
we have that Destiny controller, man. That Destiny 2 controller, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Now, is that
it's a collector's item.
Nice,
It's a
nice.
collector's
That's what I
item,
was going
man.
to
I
ask
think it
you.
is.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Some people were saying that it's just another sticker on a white controller. It
Yeah,
don't look all that great. They just put a little bit of gold on it to make it look a little fancy or whatever. But
yeah.
bro, this shit looks good, man. It
Well,
really does.
here's the thing about it, though. The history has shown that those cheap little stickers it sells regardless. And I don't want to keep going back to sales, but people spend their money on what they want, and you can't like deny that. That's people flock to the greatness. People flock to the theme consoles. People flock to the. I mean, look at the Xbox. They have like 800 controllers that they advertise on a weekly basis.
Yeah, so look to all these Xbox dudes that they want to. I know they're gonna have some shit to say about that Destiny controller. I know they are, but here's the thing: this is probably the first controller that they tweeted out in months, man. It's probably been months
Probably
since
about
they
a
last
year.
tweeted out. Yeah, maybe even a year.
Yeah.
Because Xbox do that on a daily basis. All they do is tweet about controllers, man.
Yeah.
And
Well,
backwards compatibility.
when,
But
when
this
I'm
Destiny controller,
yeah,
it looks really good. I hope they package it. The
it's a,
packaging is in a certain way, and it just looks so good. Where I just don't want to open the thing. I just want to keep it as a collector's item.
well. Let me ask you this, because I don't know, and I need you to help me with this. If I go out and pre-order the Destiny console, the bundle, the theme console, will that controller come in the box?
No, I believe it's a plain white controller.
Oh man, that
Which
would have been awesome if
I'm
it would have
pretty
came with
I'm
it.
pretty bummed out by that. By the way,
Oh
I'm pretty
man,
bummed out. But it is what it is.
yeah. That would have just made it even more. That would have made it better if it would have came with that, because now it's a collector's item, not just having a regular white pro console, but
They've done a white console with Destiny 1 already,
yeah, you're
so
right. You're right. But that
they're
was
doing a white pro.
yeah, but I was just gonna say, but that was the original PS. So it's not the slim. Yeah, they're not doing a slim this time, right? They're just doing
They're
the
doing it
pro.
just the pro. Just the pro, I
Okay.
believe, yeah.
So this is the first pro themed console that they have, right?
Yeah, this is the first pro theme
Okay.
console. And
Okay. Okay.
they just announced this Destiny 2 white controller.
Mm-hmm.
It's white and it has a little bit of gold on it. They're calling
Yeah.
it stickers or whatever. And yeah, it pretty much is a decal on it.
Yeah.
But it does look good. I ain't gonna lie,
You
it
know
looks
what?
sexy.
I might just buy one just to keep in my collection, man. I'm glad you brought it up to me, man. I'm gonna pre-order one right now, man.
Oh man, you
The
crazy.
general is always keeping me spending money.
But yeah, man. Another thing I want to talk about. Speaking of bundles and stuff, we have the FIFA 18 bundle in Europe announced from Sony. I think it was last week, end of last week. It's going to be FIFA 18 with it, with the Pro, I believe. I believe it's going to be 4K and everything like that. So they're doing the FIFA bundle with the PlayStation 4 Pro, and it's going to be a regular black one, and it comes with a physical copy of the game. It has Cristiano Ronaldo on the box, so obviously having like somebody like Ronaldo on the box, he is that big attraction when it comes down to the world of football and everything. So yeah, man, it's gonna pull people in. They were like, yeah, I want that Ronaldo edition. That's how people are gonna think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want that one. And football is big worldwide. That's what we call it. You call it, something else.
Soccer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soccer.
But yeah, worldwide, a bundle like that just makes sense. And
Okay.
in Europe, I could see this thing selling like hotcakes. It's gonna sell like crazy.
Well,
But Xbox do have their own football bundle, which is the Madden 18 bundle. I believe it's Madden. Yeah, it's Madden 18, right?
yeah. Madden 18.
They have the Madden 18 bundle with the Xbox One S. Not even the X, but they have it with the S.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, let me ask you this. Okay, we know we get Madden every year, right? So I think nobody gets really excited over Madden every year. We've been getting it for the last 26 some odd years, 27, 28 years, maybe 30.
Yeah.
Do you think people even care anymore? Obviously they buy it, but it's like one of those things. If you're a casual game or you're into football like that, you just get Madden regardless. So by seeing Madden on the box, does that really make you want to go out and buy a console for Madden? I mean, something that comes out
Well,
every year.
I don't know. Like, no. It depends on the type of gamer you are. Yet again, if you're just a sports gamer,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, like seeing a Madden bundle like that, people
Mm-hmm.
will still go out and buy it. People buy Madden every year, even though it's the same shit.
Yeah.
All they've done is really change the roster. That's all they do, right?
Yeah.
Change the roster, maybe tweak the gameplay a little bit. But this year's Madden is going to be different because this is the first Madden with Frostbite.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure this one's going to sell real good. And Xbox always have a bundle with Madden every year. They've always had one. So this is nothing new. It just makes sense. It's an American console with an American sports game, right? So it just makes sense. And it's a very popular one. And it's the only football game right now in the market. Hopefully 2K can come back in the game, but until then, it's Madden, right?
Yeah, you're right about that, man. We're stuck with it. Whether whether you like it or not, we're stuck with it. Again, this is why competition is good. We need competition to continuously to move these companies forward. We've had I think the year before last we had Madden 25, which signified the 25th year of Madden. And yet, probably about 15 of those years, you could delete those 15 Maddens because they were the same old rehash with just a roster update. So, here's cheers to the future. I think this is obviously this is the first Madden that's going to be in 4K. So I'm looking forward to that. We'll see if it does something different. If it doesn't, again, it's Madden. What more can I say?
I think the bundle will do good for Microsoft and the Xbox anyway. I think that bundle's good for them. And I believe the FIFA bundle was made for PlayStation. It was made for us guys over here in Europe. Because since PlayStation is number one over here, it just makes sense to have FIFA on PlayStation.
Well,
especially the fact that it's a number one sport in Europe, and PlayStation is the number one selling console in Europe. So if you put two and two together, it just makes sense. And same thing obviously doesn't really apply to the Xbox because hey, Madden may be the number one selling football game in America, but the Xbox One isn't really the number one selling console. So
makes sense.
Hopefully, pull up some kind of challenge. It's a decent bundle at the they have, right? And I still don't understand. I never understood Microsoft having a Minecraft bundle. It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? This game has been around since 2009.
Yeah.
Why the hell are you going to have that very same game bundled with a new console? I believe it's stupid, man.
Well, I'll tell you this, Wolf. It is better looking at that Minecraft box than looking at that ugly green box. Yeah, it is. That was horrible. Even if you liked the console, just looking at that dreadful green box, nothing stood out. So, shout out to them for changing it with the white Xbox One S, which it looked a lot more attractive. Why did they go with that loud neon green? Who cares?
Yeah, the design of the box itself, it's more compelling. It's more eye-catching. People will look at that and they'll be like, "Oh, okay, this looks like a premium device."
Exactly. It looks sexy. It looks sexy. Yeah,
it looks hot, definitely.
Yeah.
But that Minecraft box, I don't know. The box looks good, but the fact that you're bundling Minecraft one, I don't know. To me, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say. And speaking of Minecraft, apparently I'm hearing right now that the super duper graphics pack for Minecraft for the Xbox One X, the super duper pack that gives you 4K and better graphics or whatever.
Yes.
Remember that? Remember the chick with the big hips on the Xbox E3 stage?
Yeah,
we're getting the super duper. I was like, what the fuck? That's how she was like, we're getting a super duper 4K pack.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I looked at it. I'm like, it still looks 8-bit. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you can take an 8-bit and you can stretch it to 4K or you can stretch it to 10K. It's still 8-bit. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yo, she basically the super duper graphics pack of Minecraft on the Xbox One X. It's not gonna. I'm hearing that it's not gonna be available on PlayStation 4 Pro. This update, this patch is not going to be available on PlayStation. Apparently, because they never agreed to the Better Together update, which is the crossplay shit.
Yeah. See, Michael. See, I need to take two. Give me 15 seconds to talk about this. Okay. This doesn't make any sense, guys.
I'll give you 20 if you want. I'll give you 20 if you want.
Because I'm gonna go on a little mini rant. Okay, here we are, all these guys crying, complaining about Sony not wanting to play cross-play. They don't want to play friendly with us. And yet now we know why. It's because you would literally have to sign into that stupid Xbox Live through their particular inlets. And guess what? Microsoft would be able to say, hey, this is how many users we have that's on the Xbox Live, increasing their shareholders and increasing their profits. Why would the competition want to give that to you? There is nothing.
Because by doing that, the user engagement numbers will skyrocket.
Exactly. You're going to have the access to 60 million more people, even though 60 million more people is not buying your Xbox or your product. Microsoft is not doing this because they want to be nice and they want to be friends with you. They don't do it because they care. They're doing it for financial reasons.
So
they want that to look good.
So do you think that's pretty shady of Microsoft?
It's very shady.
Not giving PlayStation Minecraft gamers or the Minecraft community on the PlayStation, they're not getting the update. They're not getting that badge. Do you think that's pretty shady of Microsoft?
That's very shady. And I thought they were supposed to be for the gamers.
I do recall Microsoft, and I don't know if it was Phil or somebody from Microsoft saying
it was Phil.
We're going to be supporting Minecraft on all platforms, including the place. Going to get all its updates and patches and this and that. But then, as soon as they announced this new super duper graphics pack, getting it only because Sony didn't agree to the Better Together patch.
Exactly.
That unites all, consoles and shit.
Listen, if Microsoft wouldn't, if Microsoft wouldn't being so shady, all they had to say is, you know what? Fine. You guys don't have to join us. You don't have to do the crossplay, but we're still going to offer our high-res texture pack to your audience, to your gamers, but we'll charge them $3, $4, $5. Give them that option. If Microsoft really wanted to have a full faith that they're doing right by the gamers, but no, they're keeping that content, which they always tout. They don't keep content. They don't like keeping content from another company. Do you remember that? They don't like keeping content from gamers because of this and that. Do you remember that, Wolf? Do you remember Phil Spencer and those guys saying that?
I do remember something like that, yeah.
Well, now they're keeping content from the gamers, from another platform, because these guys
do you know Minecraft is so huge on PlayStation? It is huge. The Minecraft community on PlayStation is so freaking huge. We're talking PS3, we're talking Vita and PS4, dude.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people playing Minecraft even on the Vita. And you're telling me those guys are going to be left out? You know what I mean? Just because Sony didn't agree to do crossplay with y'all, man, that's just weird, man.
Do you
shady as hell, man?
Do you think
that's just made me feel a certain way right now, man?
Would you consider that anti-consumer?
Of course, no doubt, man. That is anti-consumer.
Okay.
If you're keeping, if you have that very same game available on other platforms, but hey, you're just gonna give this patch to your own console, and hey, you're gonna say fuck you to 60 million users out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty shady, bro.
Yep,
that's enough. That is enough to rub a lot of people the wrong way, and another reason why people wouldn't want to invest in your console, because this is the way you're behaving, and this is the way you're acting right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, the loss may be on some of the Minecraft gamers, but keep in mind, Microsoft owns that IP. So if you want to take it up with somebody, take it up with Microsoft and not Sony. Hopefully they'll
Mm-hmm.
come to their senses and realize that if they did that, that will still keep people engaged in their product. People still be able to buy DLC because they still buy money. They still make money off of DLC and stuff like
See,
that.
I don't really know if the Switch is going to get the super duper graphics pack. I know it's not going to get the 4K, but I
Mm-hmm.
think it's still going to get the super duper graphics pack. So I think the Switch
Mm-hmm.
are going to be better treated than the PlayStation gamers, and I think that's bullshit, man.
Well, as an owner of the Minecraft on my Switch, I will see. We shall see.
All right, man. Is there any other thing that we wanted to talk about? Let me see. Yeah, well, yeah, Killing Floor 2. Now, Killing Floor 2,
Mm.
obviously, it's known now, from the developers themselves that it's not really able to run at 4K 60 on the Xbox One X. That's why they had to lower the resolution to 1800p.
Because it was dropping frames heavily, according to the developer.
Yeah, heavily it was dropping frames, and
Well, let me ask you
I
this:
don't know,
Do
like
you
this
think that
really
was
hurts the.
because of the? Do you think that was because of the Jaguar CPU?
It's definitely because of the Jaguar CPU, definitely.
Mm.
Because, like I said, they went a little cheap. They went on that cheap route with the CPU.
But it's
I
custom.
admit, well, yeah, apparently it's custom, but yeah, I admit the GPU itself is pretty much a beast for what it is. It's 6 teraflops. It can do certain things in 4K or whatever, or checkerboard or whatever. But here's the thing: this is why it kind of hurts the perception when you see shit like this,
Mm-hmm.
and you advertise this thing to be that beast, 4K 60, uncompromised, and then you get something like this. This looks
Mm-hmm.
compromised to me, right? It is compromised to you, right?
Yeah, it looks compromised to
Yeah,
me.
yeah. It looks compromised, and here's one more thing, man. Here's one more thing. It would always hurt the perception. Now, I think the pro version is, I believe the pro version is 1800p too, right?
It's
And
1800p checkerboarded
checkerboard it for 4K.
to 4K. So it
So,
started at a
but let's think about it like
yeah.
this, right? Here's what I was trying to say. This game
Mm-hmm.
is Unreal Engine 3, a last generation engine. So you mean to tell me that an a new an Xbox One X with six teraflops,
Mm-hmm.
right? With 12 gigs of RAM and all
Mm.
this and that, right? It
Mm-hmm.
cannot run Unreal Engine 3 at 4K 60.
Well, it looks like it's CPU bottleneck to me. I mean, but
I think here's what it is. I think it would able to run Killing Floor 2 in 4K 60 if they, I guess, do you know what it is? There's a lot of AI in that game. There's a lot of zombies running across the screen, and you have all kinds of crazy shit happening in Killing Floor 2. So obviously, if they kind of like took away some of the zombies and the AI, maybe this, because remember, AI is really reliant on CPU power, right? We all know this.
but
We
but
all know
but
it.
but Wolf.
But what I'm trying to say, it would really affect what the developer, envisioned for the game, right? If
Mm.
you take away all the AI and shit. So obviously, they thought, fuck it, keep the game the way it is. Let's just put it to 1800. But what I'm also hearing, the damage control from those guys, they're trying to say that, hey, it still got better textures.
So now we're okay. Well, let me ask you this: you and I have played Killing Floor 2 on
I
the
got the I got the platinum on it, so I have
and
every
you
right to talk whatever I want to
yes
say about it.
yes okay. So you and I together played with a bunch of other guys Killing Floor 2 with plenty of
Yeah,
zombies on the screen, a ton of zombies. We were trying to get the platinum for it. Um, we tried multiple times. Now, check this out. We played it. It was in 60 frames per second. It was in
yeah.
4K. It was in true 4K at that. It was at 1800p and it was checkerboarded up to 4K.
But that's Microsoft's
Did,
definition. That's Microsoft's
yes,
definition of true
I
4K.
know, but
So,
I'm
so
trying to
then
play devil.
technically, the PS4 Pro version is true 4K.
Well, and that's the problem, Wolf. That's the problem. This game didn't even checkerboard up to 4K. They just said, you know what? It's 1800p. We're just gonna leave it here. The Pro started off at 1800p and they checkerboarded it up to the rest to hit 2160p. So
So
therefore,
hold
that's
hold up,
why
hold up. So you mean to tell me that it's not going to be checkerboarded, the
it's
Xbox
not.
One X version?
It is not going to be checkerboarded. The developers said that. They said, "Look, we got this game because we couldn't get 4K because of the it was dropping frames heavily, but we found a great medium at 1800p, and we're going to stay there. We're not even going to checkerboard it up. We're just going to stay 1800p native." Can you the marketing hype
I
in
don't
the
know. I'm sure.
BS?
I'm sure that's going to be checkerboarded, man. There's
No,
no way now.
this is them talking, not me. You can go back and read
Yeah.
the
Okay.
article.
I'll
They
check.
said it. So you can go to Gaming Boat and read it. They said that this is what the whole debacle is about, Wolf. If it was going to match the Pro, you know, dollar for dollar, you wouldn't have even heard about this, because at this point we've seen so many sub 4K games and 30 frame games on the X. It doesn't, nobody's going to balk by seeing that anymore. But the mere fact that the Pro has it at 1800p and checkerboards up to 4K, that's higher than a native. I don't even say native anymore, because it's Microsoft just has all this terminology just screwed up. But basically at 1800p, and then they're bragging, well, we'll have 1800p and it'll be 4K textures and this and this. Here's the thing: when you and I were playing, were we disgusted by what we saw? Did our experience change
Nah, we
any?
enjoyed it. It looked good. You know.
Facts. So again, you're asking me to go out and spend $500 for a console that does on par, if not a little bit tad, bit better than the Pro. Do you think that's worth $500 to you?
Without the software, exclusive games and everything, first party support, nah, definitely not.
Okay.
If I'm gonna give shit to Nintendo for the Switch,
Yeah.
then obviously, I'm gonna give that same shit to Microsoft. Yeah, they got third party and everything, but everyone gets those.
You don't get extra. So you're telling me you don't get extra credit for having something that comes everywhere?
No one deserves credit for getting third party games. I don't give a shit. Now Microsoft
So
should
you
really have credit for that.
so you don't get extra. Nobody gets extra credit for waking up, breathing oxygen. Basically, is what you're telling me. Because everyone
Yeah,
gets oxygen, right?
everyone gets it besides
Okay.
Nintendo, obviously. But that's a whole different topic. I know where you were trying to go with it, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
that ain't gonna work on me.
No. I'm basically I'm trying to prove a point about not getting credit for something that comes on everybody's platform everywhere. Anyway, but the fan base, the Xbox fanboys in the base, and even Microsoft has been touting the greatest games, the greatest third-party games are coming to our platform. But it's like, wait, it comes to every platform. You're not doing anything above what everybody else is doing.
No, but what Phil said in that interview, I think it was on the Xbox YouTube channel. He said clearly that he wants to make this the best console for third party games. He wants to make this the ultimate console for like third party games. So when people look at this console, when people look at Call of Duty or Battlefield, Microsoft want to put that impression on a lot of people that, hey, this is the best place to play it.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay. The Maddens, the Call of Duties, the Battlefields, all of those games, all those third-party games, are they coming out on the Pro?
Oh, yeah, they're coming out on everything.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Are those games checkerboarded to 4K?
Yeah, I believe so.
So what is this console doing? What does he mean by that? If we have yet to
When
see
he
that
says the
console,
ultimate console for third-party games, I guess what he means, I guess he hasn't made it that clear, but I know pretty much he's talking about better resolution, better textures, better assets or whatever. And not only that, I believe.
has
Oh, wait,
that?
let me finish. Let me finish. And not only that, I believe he's also talking about, hey, we will have the best looking multiplats, and they'll have the better online for it too, and the better net coding. and all that kind of shit.
Uh, I'm
So
just.
that's what they're gonna try and push.
Have we seen
That's the
that yet?
narrative. That's the narrative. I believe they're gonna push this holiday season. They're gonna say, "Hey, these are the best looking multiplats on this console, and we got the best online for it too." And some people are gonna buy into it, and some people just won't care. It all depends on the type of gamer you are. If you like exclusive content, early map packs, hey, you're gonna buy it on PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, I'm just asking, with all that he's saying, I'm just saying we have yet to see that yet. I'm just like, the proof is in the pudding. Show me Battlefront or Battlefield or Call of Duty or any of the big game third party games. Show me them running on your platform, and then show me them running inferior on the Pro. They did not do that. E3 has come and gone. And they hadn't, they're speaking words, but the words is not showing in action. I'm all about action. Show me. Just show me. All you have to do is just show me a side by side. Hey, look, this is the Pro version. This is the X version. Have they did that, Wolf? Wolf, are you there? Hey, guys, it looks like Wolf may have been dropped, but he will be back on. But to me, no. They have not. They have not shown me these games running side by side. And they haven't shown me that, hey, this game on the Pro looks inferior because of this, and this. They have not. So until they do that, I'm just going to reserve judgment on the Xbox One X. And hopefully, Gamescom's coming up. Hopefully these guys can show us what this thing can do. They had E3 that underwhelmed for a lot of people, especially with the Crackdown software being shown. Here's to them. Anyway, thank you guys for rocking out with us. We know we kind of held you guys a little bit long, but we wanted to have the debate, and we wanted to bring you some of the latest news that's been going around. We hope you guys enjoy your evening and enjoy your day tomorrow. You guys can catch us here again on the Greatness Podcast. You can catch Supersonic Wolf on Twitter. You can catch me on Twitter at JWCity16. Also on the Kratos channel, the Kratos Underground Presents. Thank you guys for rocking out. Hope you have a great night. Peace.